So this is warm-up number 3 before quiz number 3. And the first question is identical to the first question on your quiz. The first question, it gives you values for X and Y, and you're going to plug those into the expression to evaluate. And so for this particular problem, it says 3 times the absolute value of X times Y. So I'm going to plug in the things that I know. So this becomes 3 times the absolute value of 1/2 times negative 16. Oh. Choice, but you can get partial, well, the front part of your quiz is multiple choice. You can get partial credit for showing me work. Showing me work is plugging in this stuff and then evaluating. So from here, what is 1/2 of negative 16? Yeah, so you get the absolute value of negative 8. This is the part that on your practice worksheet, a lot of you didn't show me these steps on questions 1 through 4, and you lost points. I want to see that you actually wrote this part. And then what is the absolute value of negative 8? 8. So you get 3. At this point, you can do 3 times 8. And what is 3 times 8? 24. Show me all the steps if you want partial credit. Hello. I gotta do something for you. Okay. Question number 2. It says solve the equation to find the solution. And you can always check your answer. So again, this is multiple choice. If you really struggle with solving, you can always work backwards and check your answer to see which ones work. So for this one, I cannot solve until I isolate the absolute value. And to isolate the absolute value, I need to do what with this 2? Divide. So I need to bring over the 2 by dividing. So I still have the absolute value of b plus 10 equals, what's 24 divided by 2? 12. All right, now my absolute value is isolated. It's all by itself, so I can split it. And when I split an absolute value, I get 2 branches, a negative and a positive branch. The positive branch looks identical. And remember, I'm breaking the bars apart, so I don't show them ever again. I'm done with absolute value. So as soon as you get the negative and the positive branch, do not write absolute value again. So out the positive side, I get b plus 10 is equal to 12. It looks identical, but no absolute value bars. On the negative side, the only thing that becomes negative is the 12. So that's the only thing. Everything on the left is exactly the same. So the only thing that changes, these look exactly the same, but you have a negative branch equals negative 12 and a positive branch equals positive 12. The only thing that changes is what it equals. From here, it's a one-step equation to get b by itself. What do I need to do with that 10? Yeah, so I'm going to take the 10 to the other side by subtracting 10. So out my negative branch. What's negative 12 minus 10? I'm getting more negative. Negative 22. And out my positive branch, what's 12 minus 10? 2. So I get this solution set where b is equal to curly brackets with negative 22 or 2 would both make the equation true. You could check your answer by plugging them in. If I plugged in negative 22, I get negative 22 plus 10, so I get negative 12. Well, the absolute value of negative 12 is positive 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. That solution works. If I put 2 in there, 2 plus 10 is 12, and the absolute value of positive 12 is still positive 12. 12 times 2 is 24. That one also works. So you can always, again, work backwards and check answers. It is a multiple choice test. Show me work for that and you can get credit too. The next question. In fact, this quiz, I believe, yes, you have to show me work. If you just circle answers, you do not get full credit. Yeah, so I made this quiz a little shorter. So to account for all the points, so each question is worth 14 points. 8 points is showing work, 6 points is the right answer. So I do not care if you just circle the right answer. If you do not show me work, you do not get full credit. So please make sure you show me work for everything. The next question is absolute value. So is this an and or an or symbol? Or, greater or, greater or, greater or. So this is an or, which means that my graph is going to look like that. I'm also going to solve it in 2 separate pieces, this or this. So the greater, when I go to solve it, is this absolute value isolated? Is it by itself? Really? What am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing to this absolute value? Other than 1. Am I adding or subtracting right here? No. Am I multiplying right here?
No.
No. Is it isolated? Yes. I'm ready to solve it. So since it's a greater, I'm ready to split it. And when I split it, I'm still going to have a negative and a positive branch. Out the positive branch, just like over here, it looks identical. Nothing changes. So out my positive side, I'm going to have 3x minus 3 is greater than 15. Out my negative side, I'm still going to have the 3x minus 3. That doesn't change. But this part changes. I'm going to flip the sign and make this negative. So I flip the sign and I get negative 15. So when it's the negative side, you flip the sign and you make whatever it equals negative. From here, it is a 2-step equation to get x by itself. What do I need to do first? What do I need to do first? Add 3. And it's the same on both branches. So I get 3x is less than, what's negative 15 plus 3? I'm getting more positive. Negative 12. And 15 plus 3 is 18. What's my last step to get x by itself? Divide by 3. So on my negative branch, what is negative 12 divided by 3? What? Negative 4. And on my positive branch, what's 18 divided by 3? 6. The question says that I need to solve it, so I just did. These are my answers. But then it says to graph it. And on your quiz, the multiple choice questions are the graph. So you need to make sure that you solve it, and I need to see this and this. If you do not show me these 2 pieces, I am not giving you full credit. So you need to show me this, and then you need to graph it. So I already know that it's going to be an OR graph. I can start eliminating answer choices because if it doesn't look like a this and this graph, it cannot be the right answer. So I'm not going to pick an AND graph. I have to pick an OR graph. So eliminate anything that couldn't be an OR graph. So if I have a number line, there's going to be 2 numbers on it, a negative 4, positive 6. Would these be shaded or open circles? How do we know? You look underneath the symbol. If there's a line, then it's shaded. There's nothing underneath the symbol, so there's nothing inside my circle. And to make an OR graph, I put arrows that way. out to the sides. This or this. All right, moving on. The next question says that we need to graph this equation and identify some transformations. So if you want full credit, I need to see some things. You can identify the slope and the vertex from the equation. And so I can see that you can label the equation. You can label A, H, and K. That's a good start. You can tell me what the slope and the vertex are. So for this one, what is the vertex? 3, 1. Remember, it's always opposite H. So that's why it's positive 3. And then K. What about my slope? So the number in front of the absolute value is 1 because we don't see it. And it's not reflected, so it's positive. So it's 1. And if you like it as a fraction, it's 1 over 1. So we're going to plot our vertex and apply the slope. So plotting my vertex, I'm going to go over 3. So if you want some more transformations to get to my vertex, I'm going to go right 3 and up 1 to get to my vertex. Right 3, up 1. There is my vertex. Now I'm going to apply the slope. The slope says up 1 and then always right 1 to create my graph. I'm going to continue the pattern. So I've got the right half of my graph. These graphs have symmetry and they create what shape? A V. So I'm going to continue the pattern out the left side, creating a V-shaped graph. I did. I went over to the right 3 and then up 1, and that's where I started my graph. From this part, we're going to do the matrix. And so I'm going to walk you through the whole process of doing a matrix so that you can get a good review. And also how to write your coefficient matrix, because some of you have not been writing it correctly. You're good? So the next question, it says solve each system using a matrix. So you have a couple questions on the back that you have to show me work for. The first thing I ask for is the coefficient matrix. Let me make this very clear. There are no variables inside the coefficient matrix. The only thing you put there is the number. That's it. There is no equal sign. There is just numbers inside the coefficient matrix. If you want to draw a line representing the equal sign, that is fine, but no equal signs go in the coefficient matrix. So you need to model yours like mine. So if yours doesn't look like mine, erase it and fix it so that you get full credit on the quiz. Because the question looks just like this. There's no multiple choice. You have to do it from start to finish. So from here, you're going to check your you're going to check your matrix and make sure that it's in columns. It's in standard form. All my X's are lined up. All my Y's are lined up. All my Z's are lined up. And then I have constants at the end. Okay, everything's ready to go. I don't have to do any moving. If one of the Z's was in the wrong spot, I would have to move it to the right spot. So I'm ready to write my coefficient matrix. I'm going to start with what it equals. 5, 17, and 17. I didn't put a plus sign. I don't need to write a plus sign. If they're positive numbers, just write them down. Now I'm going to start with the X column. And if you want to label your coefficient matrix so that you know what column you're putting these in, you can do that up at the top. You can say that this is an X column, a Y column, and a Z column, but no variables can go inside here. In my X column, the coefficients, or the numbers in front of the variables, are 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I don't need a plus sign. I know they're positive. Next, I have -5, and this is in the Y column. -5, 2, -3. -5, 2, -3. You don't need a plus in front of this 2. We know it's positive. My last column, what's the number in front of a variable if there isn't one? A 1. So there's a 1 right here and a 1 right here. So I have +1, -1, and then a 2. +1, -1, and then a 2. You don't need a plus sign in front of the 1 and the 2. We know they're positive. This is what it should look like on your paper. If you want full credit on this warm-up, make sure that your coefficient matrix looks just like mine. Nothing extra. From here, I'm going to use Desmos. So the rest of this is Desmos. I'm going to go open a tab with Desmos. You can't find the Desmos matrix calculator until you click on the word Desmos. And most of you, this should just be a refresher. I should not be teaching you because we've already learned this. So Desmos, and then matrix calculator. I think that on the Chromebook, the screen is a little smaller, so you might have to scroll a little bit to find the purple button for matrix. Now I can create a new matrix. I need to create a matrix, but it needs to have all the same spaces. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 across and 1, 2, 3 down. As you adjust these, it's going to start changing the matrix right here. So I can tell that the rows, these are rows, I need 3 of them. Columns, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to adjust the columns so that I have 4 spaces. Now I'm going to type in the matrix as I see it in my coefficient matrix. To advance to the next one, you have to press the arrow button or the arrow button on your Chromebook. Either one will get you to the next spot. Make sure you put negatives. Okay, does my matrix look correct? Yeah. Oh, don't do that. Why can't it just make a smaller screen? Okay, whatever. If I change this, oh, perfect. So now, do these match? Yeah. Okay, so to find my answer, I have to first establish this matrix. So to establish this matrix or to make it be, I have to press the enter button. It's this return button, the blue one. So now I have an official matrix A. To find the answer, what button do I press? RREF. So it's this button, and then it tells you nothing. In fact, it gives you an error message until you tell it what matrix you want an answer for. So I want a matrix, or sorry, I want the answers for matrix A. So I press A. If these come up crazy and I feel like I made an error, so when I went through the warm up first, I got crazy answers here and I felt like maybe I did something wrong, and I did. Instead of typing -5, I put -2. And so you can always click back up here and change things if you feel like you made a mistake, and it will fix your answer too. So you can change this. If I do another problem, it is going to call my new matrix, it's going to call it matrix B. And so if I solved that matrix, I wouldn't do RREFA, I would do RREFB. And if I made a complete mess of a matrix and I was like, I don't even want to fix it, and I created a new one and it's matrix C, I would do matrix C. So keep track of what matrix you want answers for, And that's what you put here, whatever number it is. So my answers, the way I'm going to put my answers so that I get full credit. I want full credit. So to get full credit, it even tells me list my answer as X, Y, Z. Don't get butthurt when you lose points and you don't list your answer as X, Y, and Z for this type of problem. So my answers are in order, X, Y, and Z. And so the answers spit out like this. So it's 510, 510. You'll get points for that. You won't get full points. So we need to turn that into a coordinate, 510. If you didn't do that on your paper, do it now. Just like on the practice worksheet, you will have a problem that talks about people buying food, people buying, I don't remember what it is, popcorn, chips, hot dogs, something like that. So when you work that problem, you need to make sure that you label each one. It's okay if you list it as a list because it's not a naked problem. So it's only when the problems look like this. There's no, like, this was not a word problem. So word problems, you're able to list as sweatshirts equal, jackets equal, hot dogs equal. Like you can list it like that, but this is a naked problem. It's not a word problem. You're going to list it as a coordinate. And this is especially why we do this. For some of these questions, it asks how much were chips. If you didn't list how much chips cost, then I don't know that you know which one of your answers was chips. So please label each answer that I ask for. Label your answers. And also, when we're talking about money, how many decimal places does money have? 2. So don't put 0.5, it's 0.50. Money has a dollar sign, and where does the dollar sign go? Before or after the money? Before. American money, the dollar sign goes before. If you put it after, I take off a point. That's not where it goes. Please put your dollar sign before the money. I think you guys are going to do awesome.